Hi, I'm Zeus Kerravala, Principal Analyst with ZK Research, and I want to welcome you to Whiteboard Fridays. I'm going to talk about the topic of SD-WAN, and in fact, I'm going to define what is an SD-WAN. SD-WANs have been around now for a few years, becoming increasingly popular, and I think the term confuses some people because it has multiple meanings. And so, from a ZK Research definition, here are the key attributes that I see being SD-WAN. The first one is it's an agile network. You think of your traditional WAN. It's static in nature, long deployment times, and doesn't really meet the needs of today's digital world. With an SD-WAN being agile now I can create more bandwidth when I need to. I can connect new offices. Some of them support dynamic meshing. Right? So SD-WANs allow my network to achieve that same level of agility that other parts of IT have today. Second, it uses a combination of both broadband and MPLS. A private WAN heavily relied on MPLS, and MPLS is fantastic. It's not going away anytime soon, but it's now being augmented by broadband for things like non-realtime traffic and non-mission critical traffic. Third is it's software-centric, and this is a big change for the industry. Historically, WANs were built on dedicated hardware platforms that required individuals to travel to remote locations to deploy. If I needed to upgrade something, I typically needed to upgrade my hardware. Today, these things are done in software, and so it allows administrators to be able to configure things much more quickly. You can program them, you can orchestrate them with other types of tools, and allows an SD-WAN in fact, that's the key component that allows it to be more agile. Next is centralized control. So as I mentioned before, with traditional WANs, if I wanted to make a change, if I wanted to add a new service, I typically had to visit the location and make changes on a box-by-box basis. This meant changes could often take months to complete. In fact, my research shows with the traditional WAN, the average time it takes to implement a change across the network is 4 months, and that's way too long in today's digital world. By centralizing the control, it allows an administrator to use a single console and be able to push configurations out immediately. Next, it's cloud optimized, and this is a big change in the industry. The cloud is now mainstream. In fact, I'm hard-pressed to find any company that doesn't use cloud services. The traditional WAN was optimized for something called client-server traffic, where all my data was located in my data center, and then I would connect my branches via a hub-and-spoke model. With an SD-WAN, now it's optimized more for cloud traffic, which meets the needs of my company today, but also moving forward as I have more and more services that move to the cloud. Next is flexible deployment models, and what I mean by that is that most SD-WAN solutions can be delivered either from the cloud on dedicated infrastructure, as a virtual service running on another platform. And there's no right answer when it comes to these things. The organization itself has to determine what the right deployment model is, and SD-WAN solutions give you a choice of deployment models. And lastly, an SD-WAN solution is secure. Obviously, whatever deployment model you choose, whatever technology you choose, your solution has to be secure, because we live in a world today that's very litigious, and every breach that happens winds up on TV or in magazines or something like that. SD-WANs are highly secure because they use encrypted traffic. The service providers that offer it understand how to secure things both at a network level and an application level, and so there should be no more security concerns about whether SD-WAN can meet those needs or not. But those are the fundamental criteria as far as SD-WAN goes. So thank you for joining me on Whiteboard Friday.